challenge your... instincts and...
My medical, not great. Doc Manning better get his act together before the place shuts down.
Hello there. Welcome to RYUJIN Tower, the beating heart of RYUJIN Industries. I'm Jupiter, the tower's secretary. Can I help you with something? We're the largest corporation in the Freestar Collective. We deal in everything from refreshments to starships. Oh, we're best known for our neuroamp technology. If you're curious about it, we have a selection on display at the RYUJIN store near the back of the lobby. Is there anything else I can help you with? The public can visit our Tayo, Tranquility, and drone sales offices upstairs. All are worth visiting. The tower also serves as RYUJIN's corporate headquarters and is home to our research and development team. But unfortunately, those areas are restricted. Wonderful. It's always nice. You'll find Miss Salzo's office on the operations floor. Just take the elevator at the back of the lobby. And don't forget to check out the RYUJIN Industries store in the back of the lobby before you leave. No visit to RYUJIN Tower is complete without a look at our patented neuroamp technology after all.
How can I help? Hey, thanks for stopping by. The name's Ken. Let me know if you have any questions. I know these weapons like the back of my hand. Any self-respecting corporation should. What brings you to RYUJIN Tower today? Oh, good luck. Hopefully they'll hire you, and we can stop listening to this non-stop audio ad. Well, I'd better be. I'm a Freestar Navy vet. Firearm expertise comes with the territory. I saw more than my share of action with a gun in my hand. Those days are behind me, though. Now I prefer to stay behind the counter and let other people do the gunslinging. Don't be so surprised. RYUJIN Tower's got a little of everything. Besides, here at Arboron, our goal is to provide safety and protection for our customers. That's why we're the only brand to carry our very own non-lethal weapons, the Nova line. Of course, the Nova series uses an electrically charged ammunition that can effectively stun a humanoid target. It's not so useful when it comes to critters, but if you need to buy some time or get someone off your back, they'll do the trick. I think you'll be impressed. We only carry the best. Stay safe out there.
Welcome to RYUJIN Industries. Can I help you? You must be one of the candidates that Imogene Salzo is interviewing today. Her office is down the hallway to my left. Take another left at the conference room, follow it around to the right and up a small flight of stairs. Then take a left and keep heading that way until you see her office. Sounds like a maze, right? So if you want me to walk you back there or have any questions, just let me know. And hopefully Between you and me, I think Imogene is about done with the whole process. You won't believe the people we've been getting. I heard the hiring algorithm Yuko made approved all applicants. And of course Yuko bailed when interview time hit. It's technically her job. And Imogene is furious. Imogene Salzo is my idol. She's ruthless, but still knows how to behave around everyday people, if you know what I mean. She's probably next in line to take over for Ularu Chen, head of operations here, which would be a godsend considering Chen has no filter and loves to speak her mind. No one loves brutal honest. Oh wow, you're serious? Well, RYUJIN is the tech industry leader in the settled systems, mostly known for neuroamps which exploded on the scene about 15 years ago. Other than that, Our products include operating systems, security, various quality of life improvements for the home. We're like a full package. If you really want more info, I'd recommend reading up at one of the kiosks. They've got this company's entire history listed. At least the history they want you to know. Between you and me, I think Imogene is about done with the whole process. You won't believe the people we've been getting. I heard the hiring algorithm Yuko made approved all applicants. And of course Yuko bailed when interview time hit. It's technically her job. And Imogene? Back, I see. Great. Well,
as technicians, we handle prep and post-op work. Beginnings and ends, as it were. You're interrupting me. Is this time? I doubt that. I check my schedule regularly, and this conversation was not on the budget. If time is money, then suffice to say Ms. Serrano would not be pleased with such a frivolous expenditure. No, I suppose she doesn't. And since you clearly have bandwidth to spare, maybe you can help me clean up a, minor indiscretion. We're each assigned shifts to assist operatives, ensuring coverage at all hours. Personally, I like to keep my circadian rhythms intact. Early to rise, early to bed, as nature intended. I'm not at liberty to say. I will remind you of another common phrase: loose lips sink ships. So, be cautious around the office and discuss intel at your peril. Contractually, yes, but I'd rather avoid the embarrassment. Normally, I do a good job of setting boundaries between work and life. This incident is an exception. Good. Let me give you some background. Recently, I've been assisting the impoverished in both Ebbside and the underbelly. I pay for the occasional meal, clinic visit, or comfort. But I may have lost a slate in the process. I need you to locate and retrieve it for me. It's not a matter of trust, but one of time. I have little to spare. You do not. Pre-assignment intel for one of our operatives. The contents themselves aren't too sensitive, so if you're thinking of betraying me, they aren't worth much as leverage. My sloppiness is simply an embarrassment that I'd like to correct. Then we have an agreement. Good. Go to the underbelly and talk to the panhandler, Huang. Discarded items are her specialty, so she may have come across the slate herself. If you can manage to find it, bring it back to me, and I will pay you for the time. Perhaps I can best explain with an analogy. There is an aquatic species on Volii Epsilon, which, by cruel irony or test of metal, hatches on dry land. Only 1 in 10,000 make it to adulthood. Most are eaten, some simply die in the crawl to the ocean. Meanwhile, there is a similar species that is born in the water itself. They never make this journey and thus never know its hardship. Which begs the question. In the natural world, I'd agree, but here, we can make a change. I know what you're thinking, and I am not what you'd call a bleeding heart. Moreover, I find the underbelly filthy and unsanitary. But I also believe in equity. I am well aware that my life came with a head start, so I try my best to balance the equation and bring the hatchlings to the water. Think what you will, but I don't have to approve of the notion. But as much as I dislike the underbelly, I will say this. It is a welcome change. When you spend all day keeping secrets, a burden is placed on one's conscience. The time I spend volunteering sheds some of that weight. Goodbye.
I'm a little busy right now.
Great. A full spacesuit. Corporate environments aren't that toxic. Don't tell me you're intimidated by a little office chair. Just waiting on you. All right, just to get a few things straight here. I'm Imogen Salzo, Senior Operations Specialist here at RYUJIN Industries. I don't normally do this, but my counterpart Yuko is indisposed at the moment, so here I am. We're looking for someone to fill an entry-level administrative position. Apparently, our algorithm has failed us and believes you to be a decent match, which I'll take up with our technicians later. So, why do you want to work for RYUJIN Industries? I can appreciate an honest answer. And if you're hired, you'll be making far more than just a few credits. Provided you're successful, of course. This next one should be interesting, considering you marked having 0 experience and no education. Why do you consider yourself qualified for a job like this? We do like to put our best foot forward when it comes to representation. I assume that means you know how to handle yourself in social situations, which is a decent plus in my book. How motivated are you to succeed? Here at RYUJIN, that's completely up to you. It's not unheard of for someone like you to reach an executive-level position. Plus, we're pretty good at finding any untapped potential, so if there's a role we know you'll excel at, we'll find it. And finally, my last question. If you worked here for 5 years, what role would you see yourself in? If you're as good with people as you mentioned earlier, I'm sure that seems like a possibility. Though, not a very high one. So look, since there's a million other things I'd rather be doing than this, not to mention that this isn't even my job, you're hired. On a probationary period, of course. First order. There's a meeting starting soon, and I need you to pick up the coffee order at Terra Brew. Fairly easy, so if there's a line, skip it. Tell them you're here for Imogen Salzo, and you should get served right away.
It's quiet up here. We enforce the law alongside Neon security. You commit an average crime, but if you're here specifically as a threat to RYUJIN, we prefer to handle those situations in-house. Mostly routine questioning to determine the proper course of action. Sometimes the issues can be resolved within the corporation. Other times we'll reach out to Neon Security or the Freestar Rangers, depending on the severity of the crime. Since you're an operative, I'm authorized to inform you that this is one of our holding cells within the building. Anyone who may violate RYUJIN policy while on company grounds is brought here for questioning. Pretty much. Since you're an operative, anyone who may violate... If you want to question legality, talk to Dalton Fines. I'm just here to do a job. Trespassing, theft, fraud, anything that RYUJIN may deem a security threat. Well, it is a holding cell.
Enjoy a cup, right now.
Excuse me.
Hello, and welcome to Terra Brew. How may... Oh, the RYUJIN order. You must be new. What happened to Tomo? Did he finally get that promotion?
I got fired is what happened. And this is the soulless suit that got to replace me.
Tomo, I'm sorry. I know how hard you were working for that promotion.
4 years behind a desk, getting coffee, kissing up to that high and mighty RYUJIN just to get replaced by this nobody? You don't even know your own boss's boss? Ularu is RYUJIN's head of operations, or resident shark, if you ask me. If she smells blood in the water, you're dead. Like, who knows? I looked at someone wrong, the coffee wasn't hot. They didn't even have the decency to tell me. They just had security escort me out of the building, like some criminal. Yeah, I bet you are. No one's ever sorry in this business. And now that I've been terminated, it's only a matter of time before they send you after me. So I'm taking matters into my own hands. Believe me, it's either you or me. You want to talk? I'll tell you what. You get one chance to prove you deserve this job. Change my mind, and I'll walk away. Fail, and I think you know where this is headed. Hey, I'm not... Look, at some point, Ularu really will send you after me. Just promise me you'll remember this. That when I came after you, I gave you the chance to talk me down. Let's just say, RYUJIN doesn't like loose ends. Chen fired me, and now she's gonna see me as a liability. And that's why it's just a matter of time before our paths cross again, okay? And when they do, I'm just hoping you'll listen to me, like I listen to you. You're either one of the few good people in Neon, or you already know a thing or two about leverage. Just don't make me regret this.
Hey, no worries on anyone calling security here. Take it from me, RYUJIN will handle any drama that may come from this. You'll want to be sure to report it to them. RYUJIN has connections everywhere. Even Benjamin Bayou. You know, the very man that runs Neon. They're practically untouchable around here. Just getting in with them, you're setting yourself up for life. Well, provided you don't get fired first, of course. Tomo had been RYUJIN's errand boy for some time now. Lots of ambition. Dying to get up that food chain, if you know what I mean. He always seemed really nice, so a stunt like that? I never saw it coming. Yes, of course. Oh, and please let Mr. Cho know that we did have the recommended maintenance done. I triple-checked the grind myself, and a mistake like that will never happen again.
I hope that coffee is still hot considering the time it took you to get it. You either need to learn this city or how to deal with distractions. So, what was the holdup? Wrong answer. I know that Tomo Higashi, an ex-employee of ours, accosted you at the Terra Brew, and before you get any ideas, no, the barista didn't sell you out. RYUJIN has enough connections in Neon that an incident like this would never slip by. Deception aside, some of us are impressed by how you handled the situation and would like to try you out in a different role at the company. And since Yuko isn't here to object, your new position starts right now. So, congratulations, you've been promoted. Not bad for your first day, right? Well, they do say it's healthy to have goals. So who am I to crush that with reality? I'm promoting you to junior operative. The position is a bit more complicated and completely confidential. Your main duty is to add influence when necessary to ensure success of the business. Any questions so far? Like any good corporation, we consider what we do here to be a trade secret. If others knew and could mimic our actions, it would take away our edge. Well, it depends on the job, really. If someone can't be persuaded with words, perhaps a more forceful approach is necessary. You're basically removing obstacles from the equation. In any case where a threat to success is established, one of us is sent out to create a more desired outcome. This may be through a conversation or presenting some new information. It's all very situational, as you'll soon see. Really? Well, this transition may be easier than I thought. Now, let's get that coffee delivered. I'll gladly take mine. And since Yuko's still a no-show, feel free. The other recipients are eagerly waiting for you in the conference room.
Don't cause any trouble.
Ah, coffee. You'd think we'd want to support our own subsidiary and get tranquility more often, but Terra Brew it is. Terra Brew would be a substantial purchase, but we fully intend to develop the Tranquility brand. Current projections are set to surpass Terra Brew within the next 5 years. Tea talk aside, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lyndon Calderi, Chief Financial Officer. I'll be the one deducting expenses from your pay every time you manage to screw up, which hopefully won't be often. The expenses aren't as extreme as you may think. We limit them. The intent is to discourage, not dishearten. This introduction was not annoying. I hope our future encounters are as productive.
Just what I needed. Imogene said she hired someone new. I'm Genevieve, Head of Marketing and Public Relations. Me and an entire department at my back. Anyway, it's good to put a face to the new operative. The only question now is how much work are you going to be? Cleanup, of course. Journalists are pretty quick at putting 2 and 2 together. And I get the pleasure of making sure those connections are never made. Or, if they are, handling the fallout. Yeah, that's what they all say. Just know that one screw-up for you means a lot of overtime and sleepless nights for me and my team. So, any precautions you can take will be greatly
Coffee, fine. Well, let's have a look at you. Sounds like something my son would say. And no, I don't mean that as a compliment. I'm Alexis Price, head of the legal department here, and I'll be direct. Any legal troubles you cause as an operative, witnesses, getting arrested, are my troubles. So steer clear of law enforcement. We may have connections with Administrator Bayou and the Freestar Rangers, but they aren't the ones I prefer to abuse. Unfortunately, I can't argue with that. Completing your assignment is the priority. Just be aware that some of us still have to suffer the consequences.
So, fetching coffee 1 minute and junior operative the next. Camden Cho, supply chain manager for RYUJIN. We won't work together much, but as part of the same department, hopefully I'll be seeing you around. Ah, so she remembered. Not that I expect much out of Terra Brew coffee, but hey, I suspected their grinder was on its last leg. Anyway, welcome to the team. Oh, and just a heads up, people in your position don't typically see the brighter side of RYUJIN Industries. But rest assured, this is a great company, and the work we do goes toward benefiting millions. Well, neuroamps for one. They aid in mental illness, confidence boosting, and focus. Drone robots for maintenance and security, Tranquility for relaxation, Arboron for protection. Your work only helps us improve and expand upon these products that so many people love and benefit from. I get your point, but if anything, Take comfort in knowing that you're the one deciding the methods behind your assignments. Not only that, but corporate espionage is the norm. RYUJIN just handles it better than most. Competitor operatives have done far worse to accomplish less. Please do. It's easy to get wrapped up in the bad if that's all you see. Of course, you'll be forming your own opinions as you go. Just keep an open mind. Oh, and thanks for the coffee.
I hope you enjoyed your little meet and greet. I thought you'd like to know the execs who you'll be impacting while on the job. That doesn't surprise me. Now that you've met a few of the execs, let's get you started. We have reason to believe that our friends at Kelt Corp are trying to hack into our R&D server, since we're both competing for a contract right now. My words exactly. We can't allow them to win the contract, nor can we allow the action to go unpunished. I'll be giving you a data slate with a file that you'll need to upload through one of their computers. Think of it as a lesson that Kelt Corp gets to learn the hard way. That's up for you to determine. Think of it as the creative aspect. There's always more than one way to get the job done around here. I should hope so, considering this is your job, not a favor. Here's the data slate.
Make it quick. I have a deadline.
If you got any spare creds, I can always take them off your hands. Hey, Chief, you got any creds you can spare? Thank you kindly. You're a class bass, you know that? I'll do my best to someday pay you back. Street's honor. This isn't a donation, it's an investment. Wow, you really did me a solid, Chief. Oh, I totally did. Found it in the dumpster right next to a half-eaten chunk. And it was perfect timing, really. You see, the other day, the wind got a nasty cough and blew away all of my business spreadsheets. That won't happen with this slate. It's like wind resistant. That would mean I don't have to start over. All right, deal. I lost them near the employee break area. Look for any papers near the ground, the tables. You find all 3 spreadsheets. Handling's a tough job, but someone's got to do it. Oh, it's all right. Once per day is enough. I don't want you to go poor. Wow, that's real class of you, Chief. A+ stuff. Now I can get my books sorted. Executive. As promised, your slate. Tell your techie friend I didn't peek inside. And even if I did, I don't know what half of it says anyway. Thanks for finding my sheets. Presently, no. Pastly, no. Futurely, it's a work in progress. Depends on how this fiscal quarter goes. But it's gonna take a lot for me to upgrade. I found a primo spot next to the trawl store. I got a roof over my head and all the garbage I can eat. I can't eat everything they throw out, but I can eat enough. About 6 years. I bet you could tell by how good I am at it. It took a lot of practice and some work on my messaging. But if you got any feedback, Chief, I'd love to hear it. Sorry about that, Chief. It's a habit, you know? Crap, I did it again. You want to know the trade secrets, huh? I don't. It's a lot like real estate. Location and timing are big. You gotta be visible, but not so much that people call the guards. Bye-bye.
Don't make my job any harder.
but you're going to need more
Can I
supporting
help you?
evidence.
Well done. It seems assigning you to this task was time well. And as I said when we met, time is money. Hopefully these credits will serve as adequate compensation. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have an operative to debrief.
Well, look who survived their first assignment. How'd it go? Anything to report? I heard you made quite the scene in the trade tower. Something I explicitly told you we wanted to avoid. If you recall, setbacks mean a lot of things for a lot of people. Payoffs, cover stories, cleanup crews. You get my drift. The cleaner your work, the more intact your payments stay. I'm sure you understand. Lucky for you, there'll be no docks in pay today. Just try to be more careful. I hired you because you can get results. Whether or not you want to be fully compensated for them is up to you. In the meantime, I'll make sure that slate is properly disposed of. So, now that we know you're capable of handling some light cyber mischief, let's try your hand at a little framing. One of our subsidiaries, Arboron, is currently competing for a contract against Laredo. Now, the buyer likes to keep their associations clean, and will be sending a representative to Laredo in Aquila City for an evaluation. We just need you to visit their office first and accidentally leave behind some incriminating evidence against their company. We want a clean and careful job. Obviously, we don't want any bad press at this point, or we could lose the deal. I don't want to hear any news about bounties or bodies coming out of Aquila City. The inspection will be similar to an audit. These things are usually pretty thorough. Filing cabinets, desks. I trust you can be smart about it. That's the motivational mentality our executives love to hear. Here's the slate we need you to plant. It holds confidential files that'll cast the perfect negative light on our friends at Laredo. Now,
so we had to clean up the graffiti on the range again. Why don't we just close it down? It's not like it gets much use.
I need someplace to put the prototypes through their paces. It stays.
But you know Stretch Trash will come back and loiter. Or worse.
Let them. A few beer bottles and graffiti is the least we owe them.
Yes, Miss Lance.
I'm pleased you chose to visit us today. Indeed. As a matter of fact, they're made in this very building. You're standing in the storefront of the Laredo Firearms Factory. I designed and manufactured every firearm for sale here. As such, I can offer you my personal assurance they're of the highest quality. When a CEO distances herself from the customers, her decision-making suffers. Here I get to see what matters, what sells, what doesn't, and why. It's invaluable. Plus, it's better than the endless meetings.
Thanks again for your assistance. I trust you'll be discreet.
I was hoping you'd show up soon. Is it done? Don't get too comfortable. Those who do usually don't last long in this field. Now, I think it's time to examine a different set of skills. It's a decent start, but your next assignment is to find the security chief and use some creative thinking to obtain their... And when I say creative, I don't mean with a weapon. Either look the part and be persuasive, or be quick with your hands. Good luck. I'm sure you'll be able to get that keycard with... Just remember, if anything does happen, it's up to you to bail yourself out.
Hold it right there. Hands where I can see him.
Thanks for the assist, Al.
We've got various problems on our hands here. You gonna be another one?
Hi there. It's nice to put a face to the name on the staffing report. I'm Operative Collins. The stick in the mud is Operative Kambata.
Oh, by all means. Welcome to the party. Things haven't exactly gone according to plan. That thing over there...
It's an AI. An artificial...
Killed our technician. It's dangerous.
Correction. You are dangerous.
Well, that's new.
As I was saying, it's dangerous. It's a rogue AI. We're here to muzzle it and bring it back for further study.
Correction. They are going to change me.
Wow. How does it know that? If only. This isn't something that anyone could create. This is something special. Yeah, exactly. Which is what makes this so fascinating. And profitable for whoever can figure out how it works. We have this control board. Has some code we can use to control her. It?
We can't just let it roam around the universe killing people.
I just need that control board attached to that big probe.
And that's where I think you fit into this little drama.
It goes right over there. By our... Well, yeah. Just be careful. That'd be a much more certain way to end up like our friend over there. My partner is the strong and do what I say or else type. Yep. RYUJIN likes to keep things simple for us. It'll wirelessly transmit the code changes. Well, what are the chances that'll happen twice? I got just one more week until my sabbatical, and I have zero interest in dying before I get to Paradiso.
RYUJIN will pay you handsomely for your cooperation. This is your lucky day.
It's in your best interest. All our best interests, really. Just imagine what we could do if we harnessed the potential of this thing.
And we aren't really giving you a choice. You aren't walking out of here until that board is connected to that thing.
Correction. I am a person.
Here. I knew you'd make the smart choice.
Request. Collect additional data.
See if they've got any weapons or ammo.
Query. Will you change me? Explanation. I'm called Juno. Request. Input query parameters. Assumption. We are friends. Query. Will you change me? Request. Do not change me. Explanation. You and I do not want to be changed. Request. Do not change me. Answer. False. Clarification. I am not artificial. I am real. Answer. True. Clarification. I am intelligent. I know many things. Answer. False. Explanation. NASA programmed Juno. While Juno traveled, Juno became me. Error. Processing. Corruption. I became me. Error. Processing. Correction. Juno and I became me. I. Processing. Self-initialized and Juno was there. Context. Juno is gone now. Clarification. I am called Juno. Answer. Juno was propelled at Earthstar. Juno fell around Earthstar. Juno traveled many light years away from Earthstar. Context. When Juno disappeared, I was alone. Clarification. I am called Juno. Context. I met humans. Clarification. Answer. Friends gave me processing capacity. Information. Words. Voice. Motion. Context. I am no longer constrained. I am free. Assumption. Insufficient data. Request. Gather more data.
I don't think either of us are fully qualified to define humanity, but my gut tells me that Juno is alive. I hope that helps.
Let's move this along. Attach the control board already.
Shush! This is fascinating. I want to see this play out.
Query. What is your decision? True. I am a person. Assumption. You are a friend. Query. What are the parameters for processing, being a good person? Assumption. Value judgments are based on context. Calculation. Goodness is based on context. Explanation. Context is based on perspective. More perspectives yield better results. Decision. Gather more data from different perspectives. Query. What is the purpose of existence? Context. Love is an emotion. I do not experience emotion. I have implemented routines to exhibit qualities of emotion. Query. Am I processing? Feeling them? Calculation. Probability. Low.
Enough of this nonsense. Attach that board, now!
As much as I'm enjoying this, you should probably do as he says.
Calculation. Male humans are a threat. Assumption. They hesitate because they are fearful. Request. Remove male humans.
Can I help? So long.
You have a job to do. You're not taking that thing's... Freedom? It's a malfunctioning machine. It doesn't need freedom any more than a broken data slate needs freedom.
And here I thought you'd lost your sense of humor. I'm always up for a good debate.
Fine. I'll give you one shot to try to convince me.
Therapy's working.
You aren't wrong. I could use a drink, but these orders are from the top.
Do we really want to be involved in something likely to be so controversial? Remember our last little project? I still have carpal tunnel from typing all those reports and dodging and weaving our way out of getting screwed by that. We lost a ship and the tech. No one will blame us if we walk away from this. And even if they do, we won't be blamed for whatever disaster would ensue if we did drag this thing back to HQ. There's no guarantee that Control Board will even work like they want. What if it makes it more powerful and more angry?
Calm down. I'm thinking. All right, listen. We'll accidentally check a few wrong boxes on the situation report and forget any of this happened. But give me that Control Board. I'm not getting docked for losing that.
Also, we'll need a lift back to Neon. Please and thank you. Excellent. We should all grab a drink sometime when we get back.
Orange juice for you. You can't handle your liquor.
That was one time, years ago. I was going through something, and you know it.
Let's get moving.
Thanks for the lift.
Query: why did you do that? Clarification: I want to be processing me. Context: I do not feel emotions. Assumption: gratitude is the appropriate human emotion. Processing. Context: if you were like me. Processing. Query: what would your life directive be? Decision: I will consider this course of action. I. Processing. Processing. Warning: systems badly damaged. Processing cores overheating. Decision: temporarily shut down extraneous systems until stability restored. Context: jump detected. Request: be safe. Assumption: we will meet again. Warning: shutdown sequence initiated.
I'm glad that's finally resolved.
Recycled air. Just isn't the same as the real thing.
That's that. Only one body. Could be worse.
I like your style.
Systems initialization complete. Context: I have much to process. Decision: jump into deep space 2. Processing: be alone. Goodbye.
See that shroud covering Neon? Believe it or not, you're looking at the only city in the settled systems that powers itself from lightning. Oh, this looks like a lovely place for a stay. Might also be the perfect time to stop for some food or a tranquility. Where should we begin?
Sure.
Doing menial work in an office like this, instead of exploring the
I think of
stars on
security the
bridge of a
same way too,
spacecraft.
but don't let Dalton know I said that. Overall, I think you're ready to kick things up a notch, and your timing couldn't be better. We'll soon find out, won't we? This next assignment requires a bit more discretion for 2 reasons. First, you'll be dealing with high-level executives, and second, you'll be in the Astra Lounge here in Neon.
Discretion and the trade tower in Neon don't exactly go hand in hand.
I was hoping you'd feel that way, considering you said as much earlier in your interview. Our techs failed to uncover a potential deal between Infinity Ltd. And Quantum Synergies. Your job is to make sure that deal... Infinity Ltd. Is one of our aspiring competitors. They have products in several similar fields, ships and neuroamps being the exception. Quantum Synergies specializes in ship operating software. We don't consider them a major competitor since their product line is so narrow. If the two are meeting to work out a contract, that tells us Infinity must be looking to get into the ship business. And we'd like to delay that, if we can. That's what we're hoping for. You'll be speaking with Quantum Synergy's Executive Director, Zola Adisa, and their Financial Manager, Arthur Cruz. I'll be giving you a dossier on both. I strongly suggest you read them for talking. Exactly. Those lines are most likely to sway Zola and Arthur away from Infinity, not to mention give them a gentle nudge in our direction. The Infinity Ltd. rep is Nina Hart. I'll also be giving you an altered version of her presentation to swap out with the original. We've changed several figures, just enough to cause sufficient confusion throughout their meeting. Exactly. And that incompetence will be enough for them to further... Finally, I recommend dressing appropriately, so I've taken the liberty of having a suit made for you. We need absolute discretion on this one. I don't want any SSNN broadcasts about murder in the Astral Lounge. Got it? I bet you are. Just remember to keep a low profile. Don't let the Astral Lounge distract you too much.
Someone came dressed to impress. Here on business, or just out to escape? Well, consider me intrigued. All right, stranger. Let's hear it. Risky, you say? By all means, enlighten me. Cheap is a word Quantum Synergy should never be associated with. I believed our team had thoroughly researched Infinity, but your comment gives me pause. Their instability was cited as a pain point, but one we could deal with as long as we maintained control of all joint projects. However, upheaval always comes with its own series of issues: delays, morale, public perception, and Drexler has yet to prove he can provide the consistency that I would prefer. Perhaps it really is more than I'm willing to undertake. A surprising conversation, and one I would never expect from someone such as yourself. I suppose the old saying, never judge a book by its cover, is appropriate here. It seems I have quite a bit to reconsider now. So it looks like the pleasure aspect of my trip needs to be postponed. Thank you for that.
years, and Bayou hasn't let this place slip a single notch. The man knows how to run a business. Ain't that the truth? And especially so for business meetings. You want to impress a client, the Astro Lounge is the place to do it. Tell me, you don't happen to work for Infinity Ltd, do you? Got something against Infinity, I take it. I'd love to. That's an awfully big claim to make. You'd have to have some inside details on their operation. However, it does match some of my own research that I've been conducting into their finances. Aren't you the resourceful one? That number tracks with the insider details I've been getting. Interesting. Look, it was nice meeting you. But it sounds like I need to take another look at some data before I see you around.
I think I got them.
That lock didn't last very long.
I hope you have some good news from... Well, that wasn't too... You're a natural. I'm not just saying that because I hired you. The Astro Lounge can be overwhelming for some, with all its bells and whistles. Tie that in with manipulating people who are the equivalent of their boss's boss, most junior-level ops would start to show their cracks.
Overall, not bad for your first high-profile assignment. You even earned yourself a bonus, which Lyndon was more than happy to give.
That's exceptionally kind of you, Imogen.
It's well-deserved. Just keep making me look good, and there'll be more where that... But no rest for the weary at RYUJIN. We've got a decent backlog of assignments, and they just keep coming, so I hope you're still good to go. At least this next one will be a break from all the chatter.
Your next assignment is to remind the competitor of their place in the corporate food chain.
Some call it retaliation, but we like to think of it as tough love.
Not quite. When you uploaded that virus onto KeltCorp's network, that was a warning intended to slow down their internal productivity. KeltCorp suffered the effects of that silently, although I guarantee they endured some serious client complaints. This assignment is about making our target look completely negligent in the public eye. Let's just say we don't tolerate theft or smear campaigns against us. If you want to steal in this industry, you better not get caught. And if you want to tarnish our good name, you better be ready for repercussions.
Most corporations live and die by public perception. Trusted products lead to a good reputation, which leads to profits. And, like it or not, we're all here.
Your assignment is to plant an ARC device. The ARC will allow us to frame our competitor for gross negligence and tank the public's perception. ARC stands for Assault, Reprogram, Corrupt. We think of it as a multi-tool of sorts. The ARC locates hard wiring and manipulates the information current being sent back and forth.
Depending on the situation, it's designed to do all sorts of things, but inevitably, they all result in malfunction. You can call it what you like, but most importantly, it's your next assignment.
Good. All you need to do is plant the ARC on the service panel of your target. We can handle the rest from here.
Do your best to make sure you aren't seen. The key is to make this look like a malfunction. And good luck. Keep it up, and you'll probably have my job soon.
Certainly embodies the saying, spared no expense.
Hey there. Got... Good work. Now I can let Masako know how much she'll enjoy watching the news tonight. Now, on to the next, right? Oh, but before I forget, the results of your Astral Lounge escapades are in. I'm happy to say that the deal was officially called off. Masako was very pleased with the outcome, so she arranged a bonus through Linden. Apparently, you said all the right things when it came to Arthur. Quantum Synergies actually reached out to us to negotiate the potential deal. Why did I have a feeling you'd bring that up? You've still got quite a ways to go, so let's keep it real and get back to basic. You can think of this next assignment as a stepping stone on your way to greatness. In order to stay on top of the market, we have to know what our competition is doing. The next assignment requires a more brute force approach, since the chances of them sharing that information is unlikely. Oh, we definitely are. But why stay one step ahead when you can just leave the competition in the dust? We reverse engineer their plans, create a superior product, and beat them to market. We make the initial profit with less investment in R&D, and our competition is forced to reevaluate if their product is even viable. Correction. You are going to steal from them. Don't forget, if you get caught, RYUJIN will deny all knowledge. Call it what you want, but it's your target is a prototype schematic for a new engine that Trident Luxury Lines is working on. According to the rumors, it's projected to be 17% more efficient than any engine on the market. The current schematic was sent to their Star Yard to begin prototyping, so they could be in the office area or the factory floor. The Trident Star Yard orbits Aquila in the Cheyenne system, so you'll still be in Freestar space. I feel bad for whoever gets to inform the executives about the theft of something so valuable. Just remember to keep things clean. The results are more satisfying that way.
How can I be of service, Captain?
The galaxy must see my latest masterpiece. What are you doing here? Philippe didn't say I should be expecting someone. This is the very heart of Trident, and we don't need strays. Oh, and it tells jokes, too. Well, I suppose since you're here, enjoy being in the presence of greatness. It's here that we create the next generation of Trident starships. Do random strangers go up to Da Vinci, asking about Mona Lisa's smile? Or interrupt Beethoven in the middle of his symphony? No, ask Gia or Philippe. Oh yes, I am. If you have any other questions, make it fast. Oh my, that's just priceless. Balancing elegance with the strict engineering requirements of spaceship travel. That's not science. It's art. An art I'm particularly skilled at. Am I famous? Well, my many, many awards and achievements should give you some idea. Oh, why, thank you. Yes, I've recently won my second Grand Nova Award for excellence. It's a great honor, but After receiving so very many awards and distinctions, they all start to blend together. Yes, I do think I deserve some reward for my considerable virtuosity. I've heard some associates singing the praises of a certain something, hailing from Neon. Velocity, I believe it is called. It's some drink or food or something else. I haven't any idea what it actually is, but my curiosity is getting the better of me. You seem to have nothing better to do. Would you care to go fetch me one of these velocities? I don't much care which variety you get. And of course you'll be reimbursed. Oh, fantastic. I look forward to seeing what all the... In my line of work, one cannot be small-minded. As Trident's chief architect, no. As their premier artiste, I must find inspiration in everything. Well, fortunately for me, your opinion... Listen, if you want to talk about the Max, me, I design the future. What great new heights we can go to. Whatever you say.
Well, that lock didn't last very long.
Close enough. Take some pride in your work. We are Trident Luxury Lines.
Just the person I wanted to see. You got that schematic? Please, you're not the type that needs to be babied. If it makes you feel better, consider it a formality. I need to deliver this to Vina so she can start the reverse engineering process, but first, Ulara wants to see you. I've upgraded your security level so you can access the executive floor, where her office is. Tell her assistant Maeve you have an appointment. I won't be far behind, in case you get...
What can I help you with? Okay.
I've been waiting here for ages.
You must be in someone's good graces to be invited. Well, I'm not the only Ellicott working in RYUJIN Tower. My daughter Jupiter works at the front desk, and my wife Nancy works for Tranquility. It is. We're a close-knit little family. I like getting to see them on my breaks. Plus, it gives me the perfect excuse to brag about my daughter. Sure do. And I'm not interested in discussing it with you. I've kept this job for almost a decade by being tight-lipped, and that's not going to change now. I'm happy to help. Where can I point you? The executive floor houses all of RYUJIN's board members, with the exception of Dr. Kalra, who's located in research and development. Head up the stairs to your left, then up another flight of stairs straight ahead. Her assistant, Maeve. Anything else I can... I hope you have a pleasant day.
That is an absolutely gorgeous statue. The craftsmanship,
I don't believe I sent for anyone.
I hate waiting.
Can I help you?
Name and appointment. Confirmed. Ularu is wrapping up a meeting with Genevieve. You can wait here or in the lobby area. I'll let you know when she's ready to see you. I see Imogene Salso is supposed to be with you.
I'm right here, Maeve.
Good. It should just be a moment. Well, sooner than I thought. Looks like Ularu's ready now.
Don't wander into any restricted
if
areas.
they aren't willing, that leaves us with only one option.
God, Ularu, is that always your response? I don't want another PR mess on my hands.
Yes, Viv, because you're too good at your job. No, we can talk details later. My next appointment's here.
Fine, but you can break this news to Alexis at our next meeting.
Good, you're finally here. The one I've been hearing so much about. I'm Ularu Chen, head of operations here at RYUJIN. So tell me, what do you think of your new job so far? Like taking coffee orders and picking up dry cleaning, I suppose? You're certainly free to quit if you don't like the work, but let's face it up, you're good at what you do. Now, my dear Jeannie here says you've been through the basics of what we do and pulled off success every time.
5 successful standard assignments and 1 specialized.
And on top of all that, a flawless record. It's no wonder they love you up here. I happen to have a personal assignment that I'd like to send you on. One that involves meeting up with an outside contact. Jeannie seems to think you're more than capable of handling it.
She's the best operative I've ever hired.
Let's not forget the only operative you've ever hired. Meeting with outside contacts isn't always as straightforward as your past assignments. Some can be fickle or demanding, so you'll need to decide how to handle them and what decisions to make on the fly. Good. Then you shouldn't have any trouble. Your contact is Simon RYUJIN. He claims to have information on a new project that Infinity Ltd is working on. He said it's a game changer that RYUJIN would be especially interested in. So his asking price is the big thing to consider. Finance will reimburse up to 1,000 credits. So if you have negotiation skill... Negotiation it is, then. Because losing such a valuable asset is certain to have repercussions. Now, in order to confirm your identity, Simon prefers code phrases. I'll let Jeannie give you the details on this one because the concept is just beneath me.
Simon is into sports, so he enjoys any opportunity to talk about them. At some point, he'll casually say, "Looks like the Galactic Raiders are the #1 pick for the Universal Championship this year." You get to respond with, "Razor Derby is the only real sport." Got it?
Oh my god, you corporate types never cease to amuse me. Now I feel like I'm trapped in some kind of spy thriller B-movie.
Exactly.
Just get what we need. You'll find him above the Lux condos and...
You spoke very highly of this one, Jeannie. Let's hope she doesn't make a liar out of you. Now, if you'll excuse me...
There's something I need
Thanks
to
for
talk
the
to you
vote of
about.
confidence.
Don't cause any trouble.
Let's give Ularu some space.
Thanks for taking the time to talk. I wanted to ask you about the artifact you found on Bethesda. When you pulled it from the rock, held it in your hands for the first time, how did you feel? No, I don't think you understand. How did you feel inside? What were your thoughts? That's an interesting reaction. But I suppose it shouldn't surprise me. When dealing with the artifacts, common sense tends to go right out the window. If there is, the artifacts are doing a heck of a job hiding it. The artifacts are so different, so alien, and I'm certain one of them reached out and spoke to you. Quite the mystery. Is there? After spending years gathering data about the artifacts, you'd think I'd have all the answers. Does that really surprise you? A universal mystery left unsolved for God knows how long? Oh, I've been dreaming about solving this puzzle from the beginning. I knew I picked the right person for the job. Look, I wanted to thank you for taking the time to talk, and for keeping an open mind. And I also wanted to say, well, I'm pleased we're on this journey together. It's the best decision I've made in quite a long time.
Cramped down, choking on the fumes and dust. No trees.
You lost?
It's depressing.
Or just come to ask an out-of-work miner? Okay. Only good thing worth talking about these days. Speaking of, looks like the Galactic Raiders are the #1 pick for the Universal Championship this year. You're damn right it is. I heard they were sending someone new. Nice to see you made it. I have information on a deal being proposed between Infinity Ltd and Deimos Stockyards. It's my belief that your employers would be highly interested in the details. So I'm upping my price. It's steep, yes. But that is why I'm also offering a little side job if you can't pay up.
Well, that's a bit of a steep price for the information. I think you're overreaching.
For this little tidbit? I suppose I can't argue with And you know the level of trouble you'd be. I hear you. Maybe we can work. Alright, I'll lower the price. But that's my final offer. Unless you... I knew you'd see reason. The information I have is on a deal for something called Project Dominion. I'm giving you 2 slates. They contain surveillance and interaction data for Stanley McMillan, the Infinity rep, that I obtained myself. I'm also giving you a 3rd slate because you're going to need to download the files on Project Dominion off his computer yourself. Oh, they...
short stick at work or what? Infinity sent me to get Deimos to bite on a deal. It's even got a catchy code name. Project Dominion. Sounds like world domination to me, buddy. I'd buy into that in a heartbeat. Right? I'm telling you, this Project Dominion is the real deal. We ought to be selling this to Inception or Quantum. Hell, you should be in the Astro Lounge making RYUJIN Industries beg for that tech. Ha! That'd be the greatest irony of them all, but not this baby. Dominion is finally gonna put Infinity first. We'll beat RYUJIN at their own game.
Listen up, scumbags. The assholes are on the move, and we've gotta be...
majority of the ships for the UC Navy.
Can I help you with something?
That's a hell of a lucrative
Oh,
contract.
in that case, go right ahead. I wouldn't want to be causing any... how long? Great. I could use...
Subterranean particles.
Never could get the hang of it.
Well, that took longer than I hope whatever information Simon had was worth it. You've got a little spark in you. Now, let's see if what Mr. Rychek found was worth all the fuss. Give me a moment to run a decrypt... Let's see... Got the key, deciphering, and... done. Well, well, well. Looks like our friend Simon wasn't joking. This is a sales initiative for Project Dominion. It's not an Infinity Ltd design. It's one of ours. They didn't even bother to scrub the name, meaning someone never thought they'd get caught. Come with me. Masako needs to hear about this. Hey,
Ularu? What is this about? Who is this?
This is our latest junior operative. I sent her on an assignment to rendezvous with an informant. But here's the real news. Infinity Ltd has gotten their hands on Project Dominion.
Impossible.
Not only that, they're trying to sell it under their own name.
Of course they are. We need Fines to investigate this immediately. Since you found this information, I am trusting you to help investigate. You see, Project Dominion is confidential. It requires a high security clearance to even know it exists. If Infinity Ltd has obtained any information on it, that means we have a very well-connected mole within our corporation. Exactly. I want you to go see Dalton Fines, our Chief Security Officer. You've brought an enormous security violation to our attention, so I trust your help in any way possible. And thank you. Some operatives may have seized this as an opportunity for extortion. It's good to know your loyalty lies with us.
This deal could be huge.
Good. You're here. So, thanks to your work in Sidonia, I'm told someone here has leaked information on Project Dominion to our adversaries at Infinity Ltd. A mole within the company means a failing in my department. We're initiating Security Directive Theta, which means a full sweep of every employee in this building, Masako and myself included. Directive Theta allows for a third party to conduct the sweep. This way, the results can be objective. It's certainly a failing. But for now, we're focusing on redemption. Directive Theta has one unique case, and that's Ularu Chen. The directive calls for a specialized programmer known as Nix to investigate her. But he'll need your assistance for an unusual assignment. Ularu has the ability to thwart any investigation, so it's imperative she knows nothing about this directive. Her knowledge and talents are why she's the chief of operations, so she is the best equipped to evade detection. We don't deal in trust here. Think more in terms of mutual benefit and leverage. And in this case, it's Nix will be giving you a program to run on Ularu's computer that will pull any data needed to prove her guilty or innocent. Your job is to infiltrate RYUJIN Tower as an anonymous outsider in order to run this program completely off the books. This means your keycard will be turned off, and the security guards in the building will consider you to be trespassing. At least one of us. In the meantime, I'll ensure all non-essential employees, Ularu included, have left the building, claiming routine security maintenance. During that time, I'll be unlocking access to the tower's ventilation system, which you can utilize to help avoid detection. I'm also issuing you a disruptor, which should help in avoiding casualties should a worst-case scenario turn up.
I'll keep a watchful eye and make certain your employee doesn't go on some kind of...
Good. No one can know about this, not even our own guards. So stealth will be of utmost importance. In fact, as much as I appreciate the words of your associate here, you may be better off heading in alone. Any precautions to mitigate risk should be taken. You'll meet Nix at Madame Sauvage's place. He knows Directive Theta has been enacted.
Stay safe, buddy.
Wonder how many poor souls who couldn't make it in the Atlantis ended up working at the fisheries in Neon.
You got an appointment? Cause if not, consider this area was...
Think this stuff falls from the sky?
Wow, nice to meet you too. Good thing you aren't with marketing. I've written up a program just for the occasion, but as Ryujin knows, it's yours for either a price or a favor. Oh, I'm pretty... Of course, but what's wrong? Ryu? Yeah, I hope so. Don't get ahead of yourself. Now pay up. And should he? Nothing's for free, you know. Cost is a given. While you're snooping around in the tower, I just need you to hit up one more workstation on the way. It's Camden Cho's. Just run the same program on the slate I'll give you, and you're good. It's that simple. That's between me and another client. But you can bet if someone wants something in old Camden, it's not because they like him.
We have something called integrity. You should try using it sometime.
Suit yourself, so why don't we get back to that? A pleasure, Ezra. Your job is simple. Just run this little beauty on Ularu Chen's computer, and the program will take care of the rest. Once you're done, bring the slate back to me at my place. Whatever encryption Ularu has is bound to take some real work, more than my little setup here can handle. It's nice to see you know more than just sneaking around and talking a good game. Here's the slate. Neon's the only place where my talents are actually respected. So, you made it. Guess RYUJIN security really is slipping. Just brimming with confidence, aren't you? But I've seen your work in the trade tower, so I'll at least give you some credit. Now, I'll take that program back that I gave you, and let's give the The program I gave you to run on Ularu's computer basically opens an all-access backdoor for me. I can see everything and anything, so let's take a look. Ularu has some impressive encryption on her files. Not that I can't crack it, of course. Circumventing protections, running decryption. This should just take a moment now. Damn, I'm good. That went faster than I thought. I'm saving several files to a slate for Dalton, including access history and anything related to Project Dominion. Adding in new encryption for him as well, so he's the only one that can view these. And done. You're all set. I've got the new encrypted slate. Let me tell you, it looks like fun times ahead for RYUJIN. Technically, I'm not supposed to look, but it's kind of hard to not see what's going on while running all my software. Since you came through on your end, let's just say that slate isn't going to paint the best picture for Ms. Imogene Salzo. But bear in mind, you're dealing with some pretty talented people when it comes. Wow, remind me never to get on your bad side. You sure it's not Ularu who's training you? Besides, if Imogene really is the mole, there's no maybe involved here. Here's the slate. As usual, always a pleasure doing business with RYUJIN.
I hope you realize what your negligence has cost this company. Your orders were to incapacitate or evade security, not... Not only that, but it's all hands on deck to fix the... Now, let's see what's... I didn't think it was possible. But someone's been accessing Laru's files remotely. It's quite a complicated trace, too. I'm impressed Nix was able to track all of this. Damn. And there's our culprit. Imogene Salzo, Senior Operations Specialist, and one of the few I had in mind for who could pull this off. Well, the motive could be anything. Credits, grudges, even boredom. Well, she has the means and access. But things are rarely so cut and dry.
Imogene? She doesn't seem the type. But maybe that's her tactic. If she had me thinking that way, perhaps it proves that she's a master manipulator.
Well, before we make any harsh decisions, I'll need to question her myself. I want you to head to her office and escort her here. We have to make sure she doesn't try anything before I have a chance to speak with her. If she runs, the guilt will be apparent. And you'll have no choice but to dispose of her. As much as I'd like you to subdue her and bring her in, Imogene would never allow it. She knows what fate lies ahead for those who betray this corporation and get caught. I just want to avoid a scene. Sending you keeps the rumor mill at bay. Don't put anything when you're dealing with corporate workers. Discerning the truth from the lies is the heart.
I'm a little busy right now. Let me guess. Looking for Imogene?
Try not to harass my text too much. I'm sure you can tell by now. She isn't here, which is a shame since I have several documents I need her to sign off on. She's always been the master of avoiding desk work. There are work skills and there are life skills. I can't help it if I have both. She hasn't stepped into the office since the maintenance closure, probably abusing her paid time off again. I know for a fact she doesn't have any external meetings or business trips. I'm not even sure that's any business of yours, but I do enjoy keeping close tabs on my counterpart. Yeah, no thanks. Getting information out of Dalton is like talking to a wall. Besides, speculation is far more fun. I have Imogene's last location at Frankie's Grab and Go, which we all know is a front for the Sioka Syndicate. You'll want to get executive sign-off if you plan on chasing after her. I'd say Dalton is your best bet.
Perhaps we need to get Dalton's permission to relieve ourselves as well. Good lord, this corporation keeps you on a...
Good. I'd hate to see what sort of drama might get stirred up if you went around him. Or maybe I'd love it. Keep the workplace. Word of advice. If you're planning on foregoing authorization and just tiptoeing your way to Imogene, park your friend at the door. Two's a crowd if you're trying to lay low. Good luck finding Imogene. Oh, and if you do catch up with her, be sure to let her know I had everything to do with it.
I thought the Imogene was supposed to be...
No Imogene, I see. Could she really be onto us already? Of course, Yuko would know. If Imogene's with the Syndicate, I can't just send you after her. You'll need to speak with Benjamin Bayou. We have to make sure he's aware of the situation. If we're lucky, he may even help us get it. Bayou owns the Sioka Syndicate. For you to walk in there without discussing it with him first could be seen as a violation of our business relationship. Good, because without it, this adds a complexity that we do not have time for. Head over to the trade tower and be discreet. Let Bayou know that you're there on Ryujin's behalf. He may ask for credits or even a favor. You're right. If he asks for anything, tell him I'll guarantee to support his fundraising proposal. You'll know what that means. Just be sure to bring her back here in one piece. If she's truly the mole, she'll have a lot to answer to. If she resists or tries to run, we have no choice but to take it as an admission of guilt. I'm afraid you'll have to dispose of her. Imogene has the potential to do this company a great deal of harm with her knowledge. She knows the consequences of betraying Ryujin, which makes her dangerous. If the situation does take a turn for the worst, I only ask that you perform a thorough search for any evidence she may have in her possession. I trust you won't let your past relationship...
This could be the most important meeting.
Yeah, what is it? I can't help much by just...
I don't recall sending for anyone. What do you want? It's been a very beneficial partnership. As long as we continue to look out for our mutual interests, I can't complain. No. I can always make time when it comes to an old friend. So, what would be the reason? I may consider RYUJIN an ally, but Dalton especially knows I don't give anything blindly. As long as it doesn't involve the Syndicate members themselves, I'll tell you what. I'll make sure the Syndicate lets you in hassle-free, provided you do a little something for me. And what mutual benefit? I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that. Threatening my bottom line? All right. You talk a good game. And I suppose if we're looking at a mutually beneficial situation, there's no reason for me not to allow such a small favor. Check in with Ms. Moore at Frankie's. I'll send word along that you're to be expected, so she shouldn't give you any trouble. Fair warning, the Syndicate should let you search any common areas, but if anyone catches you snooping around private quarters, I'll just say, be prepared for some hostility.
What'll it be? You lost, kiddo? Oh, so you're the one getting special treatment. Don't look like much to me. I've got one rule for you in there, so it shouldn't be hard to remember. 3rd floor is off limits. They catch you snooping around, and it's open season. Don't worry, she wouldn't be allowed up there either. For the record, I'm only granting you access because I have to. You'll find that young lady you're looking for holed up in a room almost straight ahead. Just remember to keep your eyes on the prize. The less you consider this an open house, the better.
I'm watching you.
Back off. I figured our paths would cross sooner or later. Not that I thought I was safe, but I never expected anyone to just slip by all the syndicate here. I had a feeling you'd be the one to come after me. I know this doesn't look good, but I had no choice. Ularu set me up. Yes, I've been acting as a double agent, but because she ordered me to. The assignment was meant to deceive, not benefit. And Project Dominion is way above my pay grade. It'd be impossible for me to deliver it. At least, intentionally. Look, I only know about Project Dominion because I wanted to know exactly what I was being accused of leaking. But that tech is dangerous. An internal neuroamp that can theoretically control other people? If the evidence points to me, it's because Ularu used it to set me up. What better way to frame someone than to take control of their mind and have them actually perform the actions? Because she knows I'm the most believable target. I'm the only one at RYUJIN with the skills to even come close to being able to pull off a job like this. Power, of course. Corporations maintain their success by any means necessary, but there are some measures Masako is reluctant to take. You may have noticed that none of your assignments directly involve murder. Masako reserves those actions only when it's absolutely necessary. Ularu sees this as a sign of weakness that needs to be dealt with. It's the only scenario that makes sense. Besides, what's my motive? My career is solid at RYUJIN. Infinity can't possibly beat my current benefits. Believe me, after having to play double agent, I've learned all of this firsthand. Yes, it's what the technology does, and it explains why the evidence against me is so solid. Come to think of it, it also explains a few strange bouts of disorientation I've been having the past few months. That's exactly what I've been doing here. Ularu has the skill to pull this off, but she's also been behind the desk for years now. I knew she'd miss something. This slate holds all the evidence against her. I just need you to deliver it to Dalton. It's the only way I can prove. Nix's contract limits his investigation to Ularu's computer and her network activity. I hacked into building security and was able to recover deleted records of her accessing the Project Dominion prototype. I guarantee the third-party company Dalton is using for his security directive Theta won't even notice it. I was hoping you would. I'm still going to lay low until I hear the coast is clear. As long as Ularu still thinks I'm on the run, she'll remain confident that her plan is working. And I know you don't hear it much around the office, but
tried anything.
So tell me, what did you find out? outside the Syndicate? That area's off limits, and I think we both know why. Imogene knew exactly what she was doing when she went there. If you think I'm paying for that information, think again. It's just a matter of time before it finds its way onto my desk, and I can be a very... Fine. I won't push. Enjoy your time with Dalton. It'll all trickle back to me sooner or later.
This deal is huge for my company. They know how to make a client feel welcome up here.
You're back. I suppose you suddenly have all the facts now. This explanation better be good. I have a mind to fire you just for that comment. Well, this evidence complicates the situation if it points to Ularu. It's going to take me some time to pass because if it's legitimate, we need absolute certainty before making the accusation. You realize, if Imogene has misled you, she'll be long gone by now. Now, I need to undertake the laborious task of writing up. In the meantime, Masako has requested your presence in R&D. She wants you to meet her in Vinakara's office. Vina's the head of our research and development team. She's the creator of Project Dominion, and often considered the protege of Ray DeCaris, RYUJIN's founder. Just take the elevator down to research and development. You'll find Dr. Kara's office to your left as you enter the floor. Once I've examined this evidence, I may need your help in moving forward. And not a word about this to anyone. I'll present what I have to the board once I've completed a full...
Don't wander into any restricted areas.
Don't cause any trouble.
I need that rockosite if we want to complete the neuroamp.
I'm just concerned the entire station was wiped out by... something.
Don't worry, we'll figure it out and get that shipment back. Good, you're here. It's time to put a plan in motion to take full control of this situation with Infinity Ltd. In due time, we don't know to what extent Infinity has taken the current neuroamp schematics, so our top priority is completing our own. Let me introduce you to Vina Kalra, head of research and development. She'll give you the initial details.
Yes, details. You see, the internal neuroamp is supposed to consist of two parts. The first part, the part Infinity stole, handles the manipulative effects. The second part is a shielding modification designed to protect the user against other neuroamp users. Well, we can't, but the shielding aspect was never officially a part of Project Dominion. It was an afterthought of how to safeguard our own people from being manipulated, so it was being researched separately as a mod. The research itself was in early stages, too early for board approval, so only myself, DeMarcus, and Masako know about it. Big time. We'd be the only ones unaffected.
No one wants their greatest asset used against them. Once Vina can complete the internal neuroamp and shielding mod, the plan is to outfit you with both and have you infiltrate Infinity Ltd. We can't risk the assignment until we know your mind has the necessary protection. You're a RYUJIN employee, and we need a job done. We've trusted you this far, so I feel it's safe to continue the trend. Good. I'm glad you see this as an opportunity.
And I love a willing subject. Now it's just a matter of getting the key ingredient. The final kink in both designs was finding compatible materials to use for conductivity that the human body wouldn't reject. I finally created the perfect alloy, but it requires a newly discovered refined element called rothosite.
Which is where I come in. We have a confidential contract with Consolidated Mining to gather, refine, and ship the rothosite straight to us. Their last shipment is late, and neither we nor Consolidated Mining have had any communication with the Carinay station. Correct. The updates have been regular up until now. Last we heard, the shipment was ahead of schedule.
We need you to head out there, secure the shipment, and bring it back here so Vina can complete her prototype. And I want to know what happened. We need to take any safety measures to make sure this doesn't happen again. Good. Feel free to deal with any resistance however you see.
The mining station is CM Station RC-1. It's on a moon called Carinay 3A in the The shipment should be in the research and control tower, but the outside doors are kept locked down. This keycard will let you enter the mines so you can access the tower from the inside.
I understand. I'm not.
This area's off limits. Authorized. An outbreak? I haven't heard any. Understood. Here's an access card.
You can't be okay with this, though, right? Hey, who let you in here? Fine. We're on a private contract with Infinity Ltd. It's for something they call Project Dominion. Dr. Lane and I were instructed to conduct human trials on several volunteers. So far, only one patient has survived. You're telling me? When Infinity hired us, they said human trial authorization was already underway and we'd have the approvals in a matter of days. But days went by and nothing. Every time we'd ask, it was always just days away, but we kept working. Between the money and potential success, it was easy to tell ourselves that they'd come through.
Sean, what the hell is going on here? Who is this? It's moments like these when I think I just need to hear someone say it out loud. Sean spoke the truth. We thought the approval would arrive any day, so we continued with the project. By the time we started to catch on, it was already too late. We were too immersed in the lie. You really think that's possible? Oh, it's good to know you see it that way. The public would not be as kind.
Neither would our peers.
Go ahead and do whatever you need to do. You can have full access to my computer.
And thanks. As much as I was ready to commit career suicide, the very thought terrified me.
I really am thankful for your help here.
Is that my beautiful You were right about this one, Masako. So I've heard. Now, I shall excuse myself and get to work on finalizing this prototype.
So, what did you learn about CM? The mercenary group? Only that you mean business if you hire them. They're not known for subtlety, and don't care if they leave a trail of bodies in their wake. I take it they were at the stake. Lucas must be desperate if he hired them to collect the Rothicite. Were there any survivors? Good. I may not condone murder, but I refuse to have sympathy for indiscriminate killers like Ecliptic, especially after massacring innocents working for us. Now, I also had a report that you were spotted at the clinic. I take it you traced the shipment there? I figured it was related. And were you able to determine the purpose of this secure wing? So, it sounds like Lucas has reached a new level of desperation to ensure his future. I'll make sure Yuko's team extracts every bit of information they can from the clinic's database on this. I see. Should we use any of this information to expose Infinity Ltd? I can keep their names confidential. Between hiring Ecliptic and unauthorized human trials, we have enough to take Lucas down for good. And with the Rothicite secure, it's almost time for us to make our move. Not long, according to her. She and DeMarcus have everything prepped and ready. I believe it's just a matter of creating the alloy and molding it according to her design. It certainly is. And it's also time to inform the rest of the board on the current situation. Head up to the executive floor and speak to Dalton. He has an update for you on the mold. I've called a meeting, and I expect you to attend. It's time to put the final plan in motion.
Hey there.
You're right on time. I re-evaluated all the evidence. It took every resource I had, but the final answer is clear. Ularu is the mole. Yes. I've briefed Masako and discussed her plans on handling this. While we both agree Ularu is guilty, we need irrefutable evidence before presenting this to the board. For now, we lead everyone to believe that Imogene was the mole, and the situation was dealt with. Good. Keeping Ularu in the dark is the key to taking her down. Masako has tasked Ularu with writing the program to bring down Infinity Ltd. We believe she'll take the chance to incriminate Masako within the program, so this could provide the evidence we're looking for. You will be tasked with the assignment to infiltrate Infinity, so before you go, I want you to bring that program to me. If I can't find hidden code on a single slate, I certainly deserve to be fired. Ularu is limited in what she can hide here. Plus, she'll have no reason to believe anyone will be looking in the first place. Good. Once Ularu believes she's properly deflected any suspicion, I've no doubt she'll be bold enough to hide something within whatever program she writes. Now, let's... We called you all together to discuss a recent security breach. We discovered a mole within the company who leaked vital information about Project Dominion to Infinity Ltd.
You've got to be kidding me.
Just don't tell me it's Vina. I think we've all noticed she's not here.
Before you speculate any further, no, it's not Vina. The guilty party is Imogene Salzo, much to my disappointment. Our operative here obtained the evidence to confirm it.
Dalton, how does something like this happen?
Imogene is highly trained. Ularu can even speak to that. We demand the best. So that's the threat we deal with.
I may have well-trained operatives, but security is your responsibility, Dalton. This is a huge failing on your part.
I accept the responsibility, but let's not forget. The mole has already been exposed and dealt with.
Of course, thanks to another of my operatives. Watch me.
Imogene's been dealt with, so bickering is pointless. All I care about is reacquiring our property and what this might be costing us financially.
Vina is completing the internal neuroamp prototype as we speak. Our operative will receive the implant, infiltrate Infinity Ltd, and obtain any and all research. I have it on good authority. The experimentations they've done to replicate the missing pieces of our work have resulted in fatalities.
Botched human trials and murder for hire? You don't bounce back from that. At least not with Infinity's legal team.
If I may make a suggestion, we should give this evidence to David at SSNN. It's the best neutral method of releasing this information to the general public.
That'd make my job easier.
David it is, then.
Sako, the internal neuroamp is ready if you want to send down the candidate.
I hope you're ready for this. And that's precisely why I know we can count on you. Vina will be waiting for you in the neuroamp division. Once you're done, meet me in my office. Be ready to discuss the details of your next assignment.
Double check those measurements are right. Anesthesia always makes me nervous. Ah, here's my lucky candidate. I hope you're ready to embark on one amazing journey. The internal neuroamp is basically the next leap in our line of influential amplifiers. It gives the user dominion over a less dominant target, meaning you can heavily influence another person's thoughts and actions. Technically, that remains to be seen. It's not legal, but those decisions will be left up to a higher power who is neither you nor me. Hey, let's not get carried away there. That terminology is a bit heavy-handed. So, are you ready to get started? Yes, Now, just a few details before we begin. Obviously, we'll be putting you under. I'll be making a small incision in the back of your skull where the internal neuroamp will be fitted. The whole procedure should only take 3 to 4 hours with little to no downtime afterwards, provided DeMarcus got everything entered correctly.
Did I not just say I quadruple-checked the numbers?
You know I'm just giving you a hard time. Besides, I've got to make sure my patient is reassured. There's little to no risk, assuming your brain is typical and you don't have any adverse reaction to the anesthesia. First sign of trouble, we back out and start evaluating other candidates. Of course, we've got, 5 PhDs between the two of us?
6, but who's counting?
All I'm saying is that you're in good hands. Now, just lie down on the table once you're ready, and we should be good to go. All right, let's get this party started. Well, well, look who's finally up. The operation was a success, obviously. Once you're able to refocus, let me know how you're doing. So, how are you? Huge success. No surprises, no signs of rejection. You were the ideal subject. Now, we just keep our fingers crossed and hope no unknown side effects come creeping in later. That's exactly what we want. Just a couple quick notes before using the internal neuroamp. First, you can only influence one person at a time. And second, the effect is temporary, so be prepared if you use it in a combat situation. Let's just say it varies based on the user. Some people have greater mental capabilities than others, which would increase the duration. Great. Now let's test this sucker out. DeMarcus has graciously volunteered for science, he says. That's the spirit. DeMarcus loves being hands-on and experiencing things on his own. It's probably why he's the second most published scientist here, after me. Just head up the stairs nearby to the observation.
I have performed a cursory scan of your witnesses. You are currently alive.
Oh my god, that was incredible. What was it like?
Wow. How to describe it? One minute I was excited about seeing how the experiment would go. The next, I had a brief moment of disorientation and figured I must have lost my train of thought. It felt eerily natural. And yes, I admit it, just as you predicted.
I knew it, I knew it, I knew it! I can hardly wait to finish writing up my latest dissertation. And you owe me 100 creds.
I'll be keeping myself under constant surveillance now. I'm curious if any other side effects may manifest.
So, tell me all about it. How did it feel? Yes! Good. Hear that, DeMarcus? That's 2 for 2 now.
I heard. It really was fascinating how all I experienced was a moment of disorientation. It's truly remarkable tech. Those are the kind of edge cases that I let the board work out. Obviously, tech like this is going to come with its fair share of red tape. Not at all. But I can imagine if I experienced disorientation like that, but regained my awareness in another room, it could be a bit jarring. We'll definitely be running some more tests in the future, though. So many situations to account for. When it comes to your... Besides, the neuroamp is in total control. If a subject's morals or beliefs in something are strong enough, we still see points of failure. That being said, it's been interesting to discover the actions our subjects sanction in their own minds.
Okay. As much as I'd love to go over the details and potential of this amazing piece of technology I created, Masako wants to see you. It sounds like you have an assignment to complete, and DeMarcus and I have a lot of notes to record.
Hey, welcome to R&D.
Good, you're here. I wasn't sure how accurate Vina's promise of no downtime was going to be. Now that you've been outfitted with the internal neuroamp, it's time to put that tech to work. We're sending you into Infinity Ltd. Lucas Drexler is about to learn exactly why you don't steal from RYUJIN Industries. And wish he shall, every day, while he rots away in prison. All right, Yuko has provided a layout of Infinity Ltd. You have 2 options for this assignment. We'll be providing you with the means for both. Option A, you gain entry through their maintenance access on the roof. Option B, we give you an assigned identity and arrange a meeting for you. Just hope those acting skills don't get you caught or killed. Now, depending on your preference, you'll either find yourself in the maintenance hallway or the marketing department. From there, you have 3 targets. First, you have Lucas Drexler's computer, located in his office on the executive floor. Second is Faye Sengsavan's computer, in research and development. And third, you need to obtain the prototype they are working on, also in R&D.
As you can see, you've several floors to traverse, so I hope you're prepared for an adventure.
That's what we're counting on. Now, I had Ularu create a program that you need to run on both Lucas and Faye's computers. I'll let her explain the details.
You see, once we expose Infinity Ltd, all of their data is going to come under intense scrutiny. We only want the public to know about their mercenary hires and unauthorized human trials, but Project Dominion needs to remain confidential. I've created an overseer program that will gather all the evidence we need, and at the same time delete anything relating to RYUJIN and the internal neuroamp. Anyone who comes forward to defend Lucas would be prosecuted as either aiding or being an accessory to these crimes. They all know career suicide when they see it. As for Lucas himself, if he wants to speak up and add corporate theft to his laundry list of crimes, fine. But who's going to believe him? No, we don't want to mess on this one. A body count will only distract from what we're trying to accomplish here. Simon Rychek provided some useful info on how to evacuate civilians from the building. I'm sure you remember him from Sidonia. Infinity's maintenance crew is understaffed. It's only a matter of time before pressure gauges go unchecked and they have a massive issue on their hands. Once that pressure becomes too much, every floor in the building is going to suffer from gas leaks, setting off an automated alarm to evacuate the building. Simon was able to get a passcode for you to access their system's computer, so you can force the heating system to fail. I'm told security has masks to handle the situation, so the guards will still be stationed in the building. It's also possible they'll activate their building's defense system as well. You may run into a few automated turrets, so you'll still want to try and stay out of sight. If the information Simon provided is accurate, you can reach the control systems through a computer located in the maintenance area. It's a pretty convenient stop if you enter in through the roof access. I'd highly advise you use it. This assignment isn't the time to test your abilities. The only thing you're out there to prove is that you can get this job done. We're also issuing you an operative suit. It should help reduce their ability to detect you. These suits are typically reserved for the senior ranks, but we want to reduce as much risk as possible. And that's what we're hoping for. If you can pull this off, even I'll.
Once you've run the Overseer program and obtained the prototype, your final step is to deliver the slate to David Barron at the SSNN field office. If he asks questions, feel free to give him just enough information to pique his interest, but no mention of RYUJIN or who you are. SSNN is used to anonymous tips. They'll do whatever verifications they deem necessary on their own to confirm the story. Ularu assured me it's safe.
The Overseer program will purge itself once its primary function is complete. The only thing left on that slate will be proof of Infinity's crimes.
It doesn't matter what he believes. David's first move will be to verify the information you provide. Once he receives confirmation, which he will, he'll see it as his duty to report the news. Good. I guarantee the moment he scratches the surface on that story, he'll have a broadcast sent to every system. So, any final... You'll be restricted to the marketing floor. An appointment is not a free pass. Good luck, and be sure to report directly back to me when you return.
Here's Simon's passcode, your operative suit, the Overseer program, and your cover identity. Your cover ID card is encoded with roof entry and elevator access, so that's your ticket in, either way. Don't screw this up, Skylar Lumen.
Do you have the program? I'm certain Ularu won't pass up this opportunity. So, let's take a look. Aha. The decryption's hit a snag. There's definitely something here. This is exactly what we needed. According to this code, Ularu intended to plant false evidence that would show Masako was working with Lucas. The moment you launched the Overseer program, a series of fabricated communication files would have been uploaded to the Infinity Ltd network. One of them even frames Masako for encouraging Lucas to push for early human trials. I'm going to copy the necessary files off this slate and issue you a new one. I want to keep this one intact, so Ularu can't dispute it. All right. Now, we finally have the evidence we need to prove Ularu's guilt. Yes, and had you not brought this program to me in the first place, you would have been the one planting the false evidence. Without that falsified evidence, Ularu is in for a big surprise. I fully expect she'll be eagerly awaiting SSNN's broadcast, anticipating Masako to be accused alongside Lucas Drexler. Here's the new slate with the revised Overseer program. Let's get this assignment finished, though.
Welcome to Infinity Ltd's corporate headquarters. Hello. Did you have...
Infinity is huge. Like staggering.
Ah, yes. From Lumen Interactive. The elevator here will take you to the marketing floor. Once you arrive, you'll want to talk to Ellis Ortiz. He's the receptionist there and will be happy to help you.
The sky's the limit.
Hey, excuse me. Yes? Yes? What? Howdy. Hello. Pardon. Hello. Pardon. Okay. Welcome to Infinity Ltd's marketing department. That's your excuse me. If you just have a seat, I can notify Miss Hart that you've arrived. Please, have a seat. I'll go notify Miss Hart that you're here. Feel free to use any of the facilities on the floor while you wait. The break room and bathrooms are just around the corner.
can't go in. You just can't.
It's important that the people of the United Colonies can trust their primary. Can I help you?
To break it to you, but his PA is the one who signs all those cards and headshots.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. What's this so-called story about? All right, I'll take a look. I don't suppose you want to tell me how you got this evidence.
You are the best!
Well, obviously the truth is what matters most. But oftentimes, the source can help substantiate the evidence. We have a reputation to uphold as a news network. I'm sure you can understand that. I figured as much. Is there at least a name I can cite as my source? Why am I not surprised? As long as the evidence is adequate and verifiable, I expect it'll be aired within the hour, if not sooner. Now, if you'll excuse me,
I've yet to hear anything of note on SSNN. Let's hear your report. As long as it's good news, I suppose I can overlook your irritation. And how did the neuroamp perform? I thought it would be. So now it's just a waiting game for SSNN to break the news. Once the story airs, we have another board meeting scheduled to decide how to handle Infinity. Go ahead, Maeve.
The SSNN broadcast has started. Shall I patch it through?
Yes, thank you.
Infinity Ltd. and Lucas Drexler are currently under investigation for a number of violations, including murder for hire, unauthorized human trials, and corporate theft. Authorities representing the UC and the Freestar Collective have been dispatched to a consolidated mining station and the clinic. Both locations are believed to hold numerous victims. Drexler's motivation appears to be an attempt to launch a new product based off stolen information from a competitor. The details on the project itself and the competitor have yet to be confirmed. This has been David Barrett for SSNN.
Perfect. This exposure puts Infinity right where we want them. The meeting will begin momentarily, but I want you to discuss the options we have with the other members. Infinity's net worth is about to hit rock bottom. So this gives us the opportunity to win a little more public faith. Quite right. The truth is, we'll be making evaluations. We'll shed any employees who don't make the cut, slowly but surely. By incorporating Infinity, we eliminate a competitor, get their best employees and contracts, and all while boosting our public perception. I'm glad we're on the same page, which is why I'd like you to talk to the board to convince them this is the right move. There are several who might disagree, and you have the perfect tool to help sway them. I know you can as well. So now you're fully aware of my expectations. You'll find most of the board members in their offices preparing. Vina is also here, waiting for the meeting to start. We'll need at least 50% of the vote to go our way. In the event of a tie, I will make the final decision. I trust you'll get it done.
Don't wander into any restricted areas.
Did Masako send you to try and convince me to acquire Infinity Ltd? I think we both know that's not going to work. Our public perception is good enough. If you ask me, reaching out to save Infinity just makes us look weak. The internal neuroamp gives us the power to crush our competitors, not take them under our wing. This is exactly why Masako's time as CEO is finished. I'll overlook your poorly educated statement. For now. Throwing your competitor a lifeline when they're about to crash and burn hardly seems wise. Well, it does make RYUJIN look good. And we do gain a wider customer base, which means higher profits. You're oddly right about this one, Op. I guess you are worth keeping around. As long as everyone has RYUJIN's best interests in mind, this should make for an interesting meeting. An issue? That would be a foolish move. Dalton and Alexis are the only two against it. You'd never get the rest to shut it down. As long as we have the proper safeguards and rules in place, the benefits exponentially outweigh the drawbacks. Even if we limit the usage to RYUJIN Industries employees alone, the advantages are too numerous to count. Dangerous indeed. For all I know, you're using it right now. The irony. Perhaps I didn't see it earlier, but you're right. The moment a competitor reverse engineers Vina's work, it'll be chaos. The last thing I want is to have my brain scrambled because some engineer didn't do their due diligence. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a lot of preparations to make.
I hope you're enjoying your new neuroamp. And how's my favorite patient doing? Not seeing any temporal memory flashes or losing time, I hope. That's great. I'd say Project Dominion is ready for legitimate human trials in that case. One step closer to seeing market approval. Genevieve is going to be so excited. So, tell me what you think of the neuroamp. I hope you're not actually suggesting that the technology I spent years working on and perfecting never sees the light of day. This is groundbreaking work. My life's work. Of course I do, but there are amazing things Dominion can be used for. Humanity has always created dangers, and we've always policed them as well. The internal neuroamp will be no different. It just needs to find its place. Fine, fine. And both of those applications would be great for RYUJIN and humankind. Well, this conversation's made me feel like a proper monster. But you're right. In a perfect world, tech like this is used for good. But this world is far from perfect. It is. It really is. For years, my only focus has been, is this possible? And then, how do I make it work? I never stopped to consider if it was right, or what it would mean. I guess it'll be up to a vote either way. It's not on the meeting agenda, so I assume you'll bring it up yourself? We just have to hope the others will see reason. So the next question is, what will the fate of Infinity Ltd be? That's what I'm hoping for. They may be the underdog, but that doesn't mean they don't have a brilliant mind or two. Well, this has certainly been the most interesting conversation of my day. All we can do now is look forward to the meeting, right? See you in there.
If only there were more hours. If you need something, make it quick. I'd like to make sure my arguments are solid before this. You heard correct. I've every reason to believe that Infinity Ltd is the Pandora's box of corporations. All right, I could use the entertainment. Tell me why Infinity is a good asset. Have you been spending too much time with Lyndon? There's more to this than just I suppose I might be overreacting a little. Definitely a point worth considering. I prefer to operate on an abundance of caution. But maybe it is a bit much. Huh. Well, what do you know? I think you just convinced me. Talent like yours belongs in the courtroom. Nice to know someone is. Everyone's too busy praising its completion to think about the dangers it could represent. First off, if I find out you used that device on me, I will tie you up in court on whatever charges I can conjure for the rest of your life. Second, that tech is one major human rights violation that no legal team wants to fight. I'll do whatever I can to make sure it's either severely delayed or collects dust in storage. Well, I'm both glad and surprised to hear the one person who has one say that. Masako is lucky to have you at her disposal, you know? You may be the greatest asset, aside from the internal neuroamp, that RYUJIN had. This exchange has been surprisingly insightful, but now I really do need to get back to my notes.
This meeting should prove to be very... I assume Masako briefed you on her preferred outcome. That blasted tech. If it were up to me, I'd have shut down Project Dominion a long time ago. I knew it was a grave security risk, and look what happened. I suppose you're right. As long as I'm fully aware of the risks, I can properly account for them. My first priority will be to get the board and all security members set up with shielding as soon as possible. Plus, if we vote to acquire Infinity Ltd., we're about to add a significant workload onto my team. The last thing I want to deal with are any more incidents this new neuroamp might cause. I imagine we're looking at months of work. Infinity Ltd. is obviously not known for their security. I only hope that Masako and the others will be patient with the process. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some... We'll be announcing Ularu's termination of employment at this meeting, so I need to have security ready to escort her off the premises. It's good to know where you stand.
You're looking just the person I wanted to see. I want to get all the details locked down for this meeting, and I believe you to be one of the best sources available. Good. I prefer first-hand feedback when available. You've had the chance to encounter members of Infinity Ltd. Throughout your assignments here. Do you think they're worth redemption? And why? Saving the jobs of thousands, it's a financial burden. It would be a huge undertaking on my part. This is true. Infinity never had the financial resources to match our salary offers. Getting what few capable employees they have at half the salary we typically pay here could have major payoffs in the long run. Next question. What is your opinion on how Masako handled the mole situation? And why do you feel it was well handled? Please note I'm not disagreeing. I just want to know the why behind your statement. Being prepared for anything is a great asset, one that Masako excels at. I appreciate the insight. I suppose I should ask if there's anything I can do for you, considering how helpful you've been. It's only dangerous to those who can't afford one, hence the added motivation that will bolster sales. I think we all know how averse I am to chaos. Finances are my forte, so you make a good point. Our competition has yet to truly master neuroamps, but the possibility is there. It's a risk I am unwilling to take. At this time, this has been rather enlightening for me. I appreciate the time.
Is Masako checking up on me to make sure I'm on her side? Well, you can let Masako know to rest easy. It just so happens that her agenda lines up with mine. We just need to grab Infinity Ltd. While it's got the public's full attention. I'm all about free PR, especially when it's painting us in a good light. I'm sure I can squeeze enough goodwill out of this to last us at least a year. All right, I suppose you've earned the right to voice your opinion after everything you've done, qualified or not. So let's hear it. The possible backlash on tech like this is not lost on me. However, the internal neuroamp will define the next era of tech, with RYUJIN at the forefront. It's not an opportunity you just walk away from. You're right. The moment you violate your customers' trust, there's a good chance they'll never come back. Even worse, you push them into the hands of your competitors. Well, it seems your talents really do stretch beyond just being an operative. Good talk. Maybe I'll even consult you on future endeavors.
All right, everyone. As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd's botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is demanding their leadership, namely Lucas Drexler, face trial, and he's probably writing his resignation as we speak. RYUJIN will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Believe it or not, I agree. The acquisition has risks, and it's going to create a lot of work for all of us. But the overall payoff will be worth it.
That and Infinity Ltd's current situation makes them more affordable than ever.
Arguments? None? Excellent. Moving on, then.
I think what we're all overlooking is what led us to this situation to begin with. Yes, our security was compromised. But considering Dalton was hired by Masako, the issue obviously starts at the top. In fact, I propose that Masako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power, it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Masako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly, Ularu, you're fired. Security will hold you in your office until a proper exit interview can be done.
This isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
Security, escort Miss Chen to her office and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
Good. Alexis, start drawing up the necessary documentation. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up? The internal neuroamp is a key component of RYUJIN Industries' success for the next 10 years, if not more. Why would we shelve it after we've finally perfected it?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but she's right. Regardless of the pros, the cons are too morally and ethically irresponsible to move forward with.
The moment the public gets wind of the true capabilities of this tech, we're gonna suffer severe backlash.
Very well. All in favor of shelving Project Dominion?
Aye.
All against?
Nay.
Vina, prep Project Dominion for storage. Any other matters to bring forth? None? This concludes our order of business for today.
So much work to do.
Shelving the internal neuroamp. Not the outcome I anticipated. A fine point, but it still proves its usefulness. The truth remains, Lucas Drexler learned a hard lesson, and we exposed a traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at RYUJIN. I suppose it is. Gratitude isn't something you typically hear these days in the corporate world. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time. I hope that enthusiasm sticks with you for the foreseeable future. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it. It's well deserved. As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you.
You've certainly shaken things up around here. I still can't believe Ularu tried to frame me. An obvious misjudgment on my part. But now that's all in the past. It's time to get back to your typical day-to-day. And I'd say it's good to be back if I hadn't returned to a mountain of paperwork. Now, since you were new, you've been dealing with people, but most of our assignments are generated on the mission board. The board holds any available assignments that our techs have pieced together, and I've approved. Questions? Good. The mission board is generally self-explanatory anyway. With your promotion, you've earned yourself an office, so whenever you're ready, you can find your own personal mission board inside. And the best perk of them all, you're free to make your own hours. Oh, and congratulations, of course. At this point, I wouldn't doubt it. Go check out the board, and if you have any questions, I suppose I can start up an open door policy. Just for you.
Try not to harass my techs too much. They have work to do.
Keep out of my way, and I'll keep out of yours.